last time a Nigerian won it was in 1999, and that was Nwankwo Kanu. And this year, it's possible for Wilfred Ndidi, Victor Osimhen, and Ighalo to win it, as they've been nominated for the CAF Player of the Year award. Welcome to the Nutmeg on Guardian TV. My name is Solomon Fowe, and Dennis returns to us in the studio. It's great to have you on the show.
Always a pleasure, Solomon.
And before we talk about Nigeria's chances or the chances of those players and what it means for them, who do you think made the shortlist that is not deserved, if you'd let me say that?
You know, if you did look at the shortlist itself on a large scale, you see that 30 players were nominated, and then 30 is a whole lot of number. And, you know, going through the players that were actually in the shortlist, you know, I think each and every of these guys earned the nomination. And so I think it's deserve it, and then in the end the best player will win.
Yeah, well, obviously we hope the best player wins, and last year it was Salah, Mane and Oba that made the final three, and that was the same thing 2 years ago, and maybe they are the ones that are going to be doing it again this year. But what do you think of the chances of Wilfred Ndidi, Victor Osimhen and Ighalo?
I think their chances are quite slim, you know, following the antecedents that players that have won the Africa Player of the Year award in recent times or in recent years, you know, it's either you've won a trophy, your club has won trophies in the year under review, and then yourself being a standout player for the team, you know, sort of increases your chances of winning the award. But then you look at Wilfred Ndidi, you want to make a very strong case for him because, you know, you look at the statistics from the Premier League.
Yeah, you're looking at his tackles, you're looking at his interceptions.
You're looking at his tackles, interceptions, and he also scored a couple of goals. So I think that's a plus for him. And then you also look at what he did with the Super Eagles of Nigeria, and then we came third during the last Nations Cup. And then you also look at players like Victor Osimhen, you know, always doing it, becoming the point man, especially this season for his club side out there in France, even though he did not do so much well for the Super Eagles of Nigeria last year. So, and the last player being Ighalo, you know, the last time he featured for Nigeria was in the Africa Cup of Nations, which Algeria, you know, dumped Nigeria out in the semi-final and went ahead to win it. But for the three players of the Super Eagles of Nigeria on this short list, I think their chances are quite slim, you know, seeing that the big dogs are there, and then you know who already. I'm talking Aubameyang, I'm talking, even Riyad Mahrez is there.
Yeah, I was about getting to that.
And then we're still talking about Sadio Mane, who a lot of people have been making a case for him that he should, you know, even make it to the final three of the Ballon d'Or. I don't know how that will be possible. And then you still have Mohamed Salah there. So I think these four guys actually outweighs the performance of the Super Eagles of Nigeria on the year under review. But then, like they do say, it's football, anything can still happen.
Well, now that you've limited it to three, say four people, because you're looking at Riyad Mahrez, who won the that's the African Cup of Nations with Algeria, and it was a pivotal part of them winning that particular trophy. Now, you're looking at those four players, and you really don't want to look past them.
Yeah.
You're seeing Salah and Mane that won the Champions League, and also did, well, to some extent, well for their countries. That's at the AFCON. So you're looking at all of them, and you're thinking, who's going to be winning this one this time?
So number one, I think the battle in this one will be for, you know, who finally emerges as the top three guys. But then in the midst of this, out of these four guys, I think I see Aubameyang leaving the list. I think I see a final short three of Riyad Mahrez, Mo Salah, and Sadio Mane, because case in point was their performances for the African Cup of Nations. And do not forget that if the award is being given in a year, the Nations Cup was being played, you know, so the performances and then the results of this team go a long way for whoever will clinch this individual award. And then Mo Salah, Egypt hosted the Nations Cup, although they did not get so far, were dumped out. Riyad Mahrez stood out for the Algerian side, and also Sadio Mane, you know,
got to the final
alongside Riyad Mahrez. So if we're looking at who wins the award, and do not also forget the performances of their club sides, you know, Liverpool went ahead to win the UEFA Champions League. So I think the battle will be between Sadio Mane and Riyad Mahrez. But this time around, I'm not looking beyond Sadio Mane taking this.
Yeah, I think I absolutely agree with you because Mane has been quite phenomenal when it comes to both country and club side. And I like the fact that it was Aubameyang that you took out of the top three because you're looking at a player that didn't feature in the African Cup of Nations with Gabon. So I think it works absolutely well. But if you're looking at, if say you want to predict, look into the future and see when next it's going to be coming to Nigeria, because we are looking at the young player shortlist and we have Samuel Chukwueze on it, we have Victor Osimhen also on it. Do you think Nigeria is going to be winning anytime soon? I'm not talking about the Young Player of the Year award, I'm talking about the main award itself.
Yeah, I think Nigeria has the prospects. Nigeria has the prospects. If you take nothing away from, you know, the guys that are springing up year after year, and then they've been consistent. You know, you talk about a player like Wilfred Ndidi. So if you are looking at the statistics, what Ndidi has done this year, and then you compare with last year, you see that he's on the ascendancy of even beating his previous record. And also, you look at a player like Victor Osimhen, you know, although he's playing on the wing for his club side, but then you see that match after match, he ends up being the go-to guy, you know, both in the league, in the Champions League, and also in their domestic cup competition. And also, like you mentioned, Samuel Chukwueze, you know, a whole lot of transfer rumors have been linking him with, you know, the top dogs in Europe. You know, you talk about Liverpool and also a few club side in England. So, you know, if the Super Eagles of Nigeria do continue with this set of players that the team has right now, and then they themselves individually keep improving, I think it will not be so long before we have a Nigerian, you know, feature in the top three and then going ahead to win the main award itself.
I think top three hasn't been much of a problem for us. I think there was a time that Vincent Iyama was there. There was a time Ighalo also made it to the short list. But we've not just found a way to crack that best player of the year award. Thank you so much for talking to us on the Nutmeg.
Always a pleasure, Solomon.
So that's all we can take on the Nutmeg today. Please let us know in the comment section who do you think would be winning the CAF Player of the Year award. If you think Wilfred Ndidi is a good shout, if you think Victor Osimhen is going to be getting in, let us know in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching. And if you're not subscribed to this YouTube channel, you should absolutely do that because there's awesome content from Guardian Nigeria for you. Thank you so much once again. My name is Solomon Fowe and this has been The Nutmeg.